Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Ain Tasnim Bt Khalil, and today me and my group mates are going to present on chapter 3, which managing across cultures. So first of all, let me introduce my group mates. So these are my group mates. First of all, I will be explaining about the strategy for managing across cultures. As MNC become more transnational, their strategies must address the cultural similarities and differences in their varied markets. For example, Renault, the French auto giant. It is now a multinational automaker with operations on 4 continents. So the strategies that Renault did was it bought a controlling stake in Nissan Motor of Japan, Samsung Motor of South Korea, and the Romanian automakers. So when Renault bought the share or the company, they are basically taking over the company and the assets and also the technology. And that is how they study the culture of other countries and implement it in their own businesses in that particular countries. Okay, so for example, let me interpret it in bahasa Melayu. Okay, contoh, let's say kita nak jual burger, tapi kita tak ada teknologi nak buat burger tu. So, apa kita buat is kita bought a controlling stakes in McD. So, kita akan basically dapat teknologi untuk buat burger tu. And at the same time, McD ni satu company yang dah well known around the world. So, at the same time, kita dapat jual produk kita tu under nama McD dekat seluruh dunia. Macam tu. So, next, I will be explaining about strategies to keep the operation profitable. In 2015, Renault introduced K-Wit, its ultra-low-cost hatchback for the Indian market. So basically, K-Wit is designed to offer features of an expensive car, but at affordable price, and selling it at affordable price to adapt with the India economy. Furthermore, Renault-Nissan alliance to foster multicultural management at all levels. Lastly, each year, more than 30 teams from Renault and Nissan from all regions and functions work together to identify synergy and best practice, which is thousands of people with cross-culture experience work together and collaborate together ever since the beginning of the alliance to give an idea or to interpret an idea regarding the culture and the businesses at certain country.
Okay, I will proceed with the strategic predisposition. Okay, in this part, we have four types, which is ethnocentric, polycentric, regiocentric, and also geocentric. So, we will proceed with the first one, which is ethnocentric. You guys can turn to page 159 and also 160 in the textbook. Okay, the first one is ethnocentric. What is the ethnocentric? Actually, it is allow the value and interest of the parent company to guide strategic decision. In a simple word, you can say that the parent company control the subsidiary company in all things, which is management, marketing, production. They control. They make the decision for the subsidiary company. Okay, so how they can do that? Okay, they will fulfill the what we call the key position in the company by the manager from the home company. Okay, from home country. They will export their people to work at the other people where they set up the business. Okay, so for the local employee, yes, they still hire the local employee, but in a low level position and also maybe in the supporting jobs. Okay, so we can take a look with the example. Sony company. Okay, Sony Corporation of America is a subsidiary of the Sony Corporation in Japan. So that what Japan do? Okay, Japan use their manager to work at America. Okay, to work at America because they want to what we call to control the subsidiary company in order them to follow all the decision, all the what we call direction that will be given by the parent company. Okay, so the next strategy is polycentric. Polycentric is quite different because it is like opposite with the ethnocentric. Okay, it is actually they create the new strategy. I mean, they alter the new strategy that suit with the culture of the country where the MNC operates. Okay, it means that they follow the subsidiaries company have the right to make a decision in order to run the business there. Okay, the production, in terms of production, they will produce the product that fulfill the locals' needs, and also for the key position in the company, they will fulfill by the local employee, because what the local employee know what they want, what they people want. Okay, so in example there, which is McDonald's, we know that McDonald's is a very big company. Whenever we go, it must be a McDonald's restaurant, even in Japan, what we call Arab, Malaysia. So McDonald's everywhere. So in this example, they produce vegetarian burger, which is McAlotiki, which is in Malaysia we have McChicken, McDeluxe. Okay, but in India they have McAlotiki in India, where most of them are vegetarian. Okay, we know that in India most of them are Hindu. Hindu didn't eat meat, so that they come up with the new idea, which is produce the vegetarian burger, so that their people can eat. Okay, so so the next one is regiocentric. Regiocentric is it is actually the firm tries to blend its own interests with those of its subsidiary on the regional basis, which is all the decision, all the production is based on the region, not across the region. Okay, will fulfill the needs in the region itself. Okay, and also in terms of recruitment employees, they will recruit the people within the region. Okay, so for example Toyota. Okay, we can see Toyota. They produce the car that have different spec according to the different region. Okay, we know that in one region they have more than one country. So that okay, when we talk about regiocentric region, it's different with the polycentric. Polycentric is refer to the one country only, but in the region is refer more than one country, but in the one region. Yes. Okay. Back to the example, which is Toyota. Okay, we know that Toyota is an imported car. Malaysia use Toyota, Indonesia also use Toyota, and also Japan also use Toyota. Okay, so the Toyota had made the decision to produce different spec of the car in order to fulfill the needs of the different region. Okay, we know that some car have heater in the car. If I'm not mistaken, our product, which is Produa, we don't have the heater in the car because we don't have the 4 season, which is the winter one. Okay, kita tak ada musim sejuk. That's why kereta kita tak ada yang macam heater pemanas. Kan kalau kita masuk kereta, kita buka aircon dia sejuk kan. Kalau perasan, kereta import dia ada like macam warna merah. Warna merah tu dia akan turn the suhu menjadi panas, suam panas. So suhu tu dekat Malaysia kita tak guna tau. Tapi dekat luar negara waktu winter dia guna. So itu maksud dia. Alright? Okay, so kita akan pergi kepada next, which is geocentric. When we talk about geo, the first thing that you need to know, it is global. It means global. Okay, the firm tries to integrate a global system approach to decision making. It means that they try to create one unique technique or what we call strategy that suit to everybody in the world, that suit to every country in the world. Okay, the production also based on the global product. They did not fulfill the needs of one country only, or maybe two, or maybe the region country. No, the region. Okay, the region. No, they create the product that semua orang boleh pakai, universal, what we call globally. Okay, so in terms of the management, the top management will be filled by the qualified manager all around the world. Okay, all around the world. Okay, for example, we have Colgate here. We know that Colgate is one product that we all use. I believe people in Malaysia, people in Singapore, people in wherever they are, they will use the toothpaste. Okay, so that it means that one things yang semua orang boleh guna, semua orang boleh adapt dengan benda tu. Tak perlukan orang cakap apa, tak perlukan culture, tak perlukan orang kata kebiasaan orang itu untuk menggunakan barang tu. Sama juga kalau macam Sir pernah mention dalam kelas, which is jeans. Semua orang pakai jeans. Even dekat Arab Saudi pun, kalau dia orang pakai jubah, sebenarnya kat dalam tu ada jeans juga sebenarnya. So it is universal. So itulah maksudnya geocentric punya strategi. And then we know that MNC dia tak gunakan satu saja strategi among four ni. Dia mungkin guna 2 atau 3 atau kesemuanya in order to become more successful lah. Alright. So we proceed with the orientation of an MNC under different profile. Okay, this is we can see the differences between all the things, which is in terms of mission, governance, strategy, structure, finance, between the etocentric, polycentric, regiocentric and geocentric. Okay, I believe all of you can read this, but I give you some simple example here. Okay, in terms of the what we call okay, in terms of personal practice. Okay, at etocentric, people at home country try develop for key position everywhere in the world. Okay, because what the characteristic of the etocentric is the parent company want to control the host the subsidiaries company. That's why their home people, their country, the people from the home country will try their hard, for fulfill the position everywhere. Where the MNC operate, kat situ lah dia orang ada. Sebab apa? Sebab dia orang nak monopoly management. Okay. Dekat polycentric pula berbeza, because dia orang guna local people. Sebab dia orang tahu local people ni faham culture orang dia, faham apa yang orang tu nak. So that they will use the local people in order to manage the company. In terms of regiocentric pula, okay, regional people develop for key position anywhere in the region. Okay, dia gabungan lah, macam gabungan. Kalau geocentric, dia sama macam regiocentric, tapi dia lebih besar sebab dia global. Dia include all people around the world. Okay.
Halo, bersama saya lagi Ain Tasnim. Next, I will be explaining regarding meeting the challenge. So, MNC remain committed to a globalization imperative. So, what is globalization imperative? Globalization imperative is a belief that one worldwide approach to doing businesses is the key to both efficiency and effectiveness. A number of factors are moving companies to facilitate the development of unique strategies for different cultures, including, first, the diversity of worldwide industry standards such as those in broadcasting, where television sets must be manufactured on country-by-country basis. Contoh, maksud dia macam setiap country berbeza. Ada certain country yang dah guna HD, ada certain country yang still belum guna HD. Ada certain country yang dah guna digital TV, ada certain country yang belum guna digital TV. Sebab itulah maksudnya setiap country tu different. Okay? Number 2, a continual demand by local customer for differentiate products, which in the case of consumer goods that must meet local taste. Okay, every country, every region have their own taste and preference on certain products. So that is what it means by must meet local taste. Number 3, the importance of being an insider. In the case of customer who prefer to buy local product. Number 4, the difficulty of managing global organization, which some local subsidiaries want more decentralization and other that want less. For example, when Renault bought a controlling stake with Nissan, Nissan become a subsidiaries, and the challenge occur when Nissan want more decentralization or want less decentralization. Yep. Number 5, lastly, the need to allow subsidiaries to use their own abilities and talent and not be restrained by headquarters. In this case, which local units that know how to customize products for their market and generate high returns on investment with limited production output. MNC find the regional strategies can be used effectively in capturing and maintaining worldwide market niche. Example, appliance producer Whirlpool has manufacturing facilities spread across the United States. Next, the globalization versus national responsiveness challenge is even more acute when marketing cosmetics and other products that vary greatly in consumer use. For example, marketers sell toothpaste as a cosmetic product in Spain and Greece, but as a cavity fighter in Netherlands and United States. Lastly, for high-end products, the lifestyle and expectation of market niche are similar regardless of the country. For example, Heineken beer, Hennessy, brandy, Porsche, cars, and the Financial Times all appeal to consumer niche that are fairly homogeneous. So these are the challenges faced by MNC. Staying abreast of local market condition and not assuming that all markets are same. Next, knowing the strength and weaknesses of its subsidiaries and assisting them in addressing local demands. So basically point ni kita boleh kaitkan dengan point dekat meeting the challenge nombor 5 tu, yang di mana dorang dapat macam dapat tahu kelemahan subsidiaries diorang and diorang implement lah untuk kawal ataupun untuk cegah masalah tu daripada terjadi ataupun untuk meet the local demand. Seterusnya, giving more autonomy to the subsidiary. So basically giving more autonomy to the subsidiary is when the MNC is giving more power to the subsidiary to take over the businesses at that certain country. Because basically when subsidiary know better about their culture, about their economy, about their country. So that is why it is important to give more autonomy to the subsidiary.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shafiqah binti Amran, and for the next slide is need for unique strategies for different cultures, which we can refer to page 160 and to 161. Okay, these are all the factors that are moving the multinational companies in order to develop some unique strategies for different cultures. So first, there is the diversity of worldwide industry standards. So as you guys know, being a multinational companies, you are dealing your business across the globe. Okay, there's a lot of standard that should be met in order to produce a product, and the company should produce a product or services based on the international standard, so that you will be compatible with more other products or services that being promoted worldwide, and in which will help our company to be in the number of choices available across the globe for people to choose from. So for example, in the textbook, it is on the production of television sets that must be manufactured on a country by country basis. And the second one is on continual demand by local customers for differentiated and locally sourced products. Okay, handling business in a specific country means that company must always produce consumer goods that suit the local taste. And some might want to buy, some of these customers will also want to buy a product that being produced inside their own country. Okay, so the companies should find a new strategy in order to create an effective production and also distribution processes that can handle a global audience. Like for example, KFC in India, they produce a vegetarian burger for the local, and the ingredients are all from the local farms. Okay, and the third is difficulty of managing global organizations. So okay, as you're dealing with all employees all around the world, it can take weeks or days or weeks to get a meeting schedule that works for everyone's calendar. And working with team members who have different native tongues, it's common for key messages to lost in the translation. And also, some will be faced with high labor costs. Some of companies will face with high labor costs in various host countries. For example, the host country like Denmark or Sweden, they more require higher local cost of labor, while Bangladesh is among the countries that has low labor costs. So company has to always do research on that to manage their own global organizations. And the fourth one is that local units should be allowed to use their own abilities and talents unconstrained by headquarters. Okay, this is due to some companies always hire people from their home country to work in the host country. In terms of employment, multinational companies should hire local workers who know the culture of their place and are those who are able to give helpful insider feedback on what the local wants. For example, in McDonald's Malaysia, in which they hired a local employee, Mr. Azmir Jaafar, as the managing director of McDonald's Malaysia. So next slide is on 2.0, cross-cultural differences and similarities, which is in page 162. So okay, in this topic, we can see that in the textbook, the word stated there that cultures can be similar or quite different across countries, and the multinational companies have to face some challenges in order to recognize and effectively manage the similarities and differences between the home and host country. And we can also say that the way how these multinational companies will manage their business in home country will be different than the way they manage their overseas operations. And the most important thing is that these companies also should be able to recognize the danger of having their companies drifting towards parochialism and simplification despite the cultural differences, which means that we are moving to the next slides, which are barriers to cross-cultural management, which is still on the same page, 162. Okay, there are two barriers. So first, parochialism, okay, in which in the textbook it's been defined as the tendency to view the world through one's own eyes and perspectives. I think it can also be meant as narrow-minded, as people with parochial attitude do not recognize that others have different ways of living and working. So if they are always applying an attitude of ours is better than theirs to foreign cultures, I think it will be they'll find it difficult to compete with other organizations around the world. They are seeking to understand foreign customs and market differences. Okay, for example, in the textbook is on the CIS manager or the Commonwealth Independent States managers, on how they do their business are sharply different than their American counterparts due to having parochial point of view fostered by their own background. And the next is simplification. Okay, you can refer it in page 163. So it is defined as the process of exhibiting the same orientation towards different cultural group. Okay, this will be a barrier because you are interacting with different cultures, but your orientation is reflecting only one basic culture. So if you know more about your team members' culture and the differences compared to your own, you might better understand their reaction and place them in the right context. However, try not to descend into stereotyping. Okay, always take the personality of your team member into account. Okay, it's also important that as a manager, you must learn how to deal with these kind of issues if you want to prevent open conflicts or losing trust and motivation within your team. Okay, there will be high potential for staff boredom and accompanying issues like higher error rates or absenteeism. So for example, is on how the US manager interacts or behave in the same way either with British manager or the Asian executive. And there's also the book gives as example about the European manager and his Korean partner on the pen and steer system, in which the manager thought it was a bribe, when actually it is a current custom of giving present. Okay, but his refusal has been taken to mean as if you want to get business with me, you had better come up with something bigger.
Hi, hello, you can call me Danish. So for the similarities across culture, there is a certain country that use same system in their organization. So for example, Russia and US. Russian manager implement traditional management, communication, human resource, and networking activities. By doing this, they believe that it can be effective predictor for performance enhancement. And then we go to then they use organizational behavior modification intervention that led in performance improvement in both countries. The Russian supervisor were trained to administer reward for those who can give quality product. They can produce quality product, and they give corrective guidance to those who produce low product. And next, Korea also use the same system as US. For example, which is organizational commitment relates to employee position in the hierarchy tenure in their current position and each. The commitment of the employee towards the organization is based on the position. The higher the position, the higher the commitment to the organization in terms of decision making and so on.
Okay, now I will proceed with the differences across culture. Okay, in this slide, I provide the example actually. Okay, the head office of the Shell Oil had established 5 criteria to evaluate the differences between culture. You guys can turn to page 166 for the further information. Okay, in this particular things, we can see that 4 different countries, which is Netherlands, France, Germany, Britain. Same company, which is Shell Oil, but managed by the different different people from Netherlands, France, Germany, and Britain. Okay, we can see that in Netherlands, you can see in the textbook, in Netherlands, they put the reality at the top, because they think that the reality, which is the ability to use information realistically, is most important thing to for them to do. Okay, and put the imagination at the last one. Okay, imagination, which is the ability to be creative and think outside the box. They think that it is the less important among all of them, but it is different. From the perspective of the manager from the France. Okay, that they put the imagination, which is yang from Netherlands tadi dia letak bawah sekali, tapi dekat France ni dia letak dekat atas sekali. Imagination dia letak dekat atas sekali sebab apa? Because they think that imagination, which is the ability to be creative and think outside the box, is most important thing untuk improve dia punya business. Untuk improve dia punya business. Okay, so they have all different perspective according to their country. One more from Germany pula, they think that leadership is a very important thing. So that's why it puts leadership at the top. Okay, so so here is the example here is the some of the example of the human resource management differences. Okay, we can see from Mexico, Austria, Brazil, Japan, United Kingdom, they have different perspective. Okay, actually it is the example in terms of the wages, compensation, pay, equity, and also the maternity leave. Okay, we take a look with the example. Okay, in Austria, okay, in Austria and Brazil, employees with 1 year of services are automatically given 30 days of paid vacation. Okay, so no matter how your performance, okay, how good your performance, how bad your performance, as long as you work in the company more than 1 year, you will automatically get 30 days of paid vacation. It is applied in Austria and Brazil. We in Malaysia didn't get that. I think yes. So that's in terms of what we call compensation. Okay, in terms of the maternity leave. Okay, we know that in Malaysia kita tak dapat lama cuti rasanya. Kita tak dapat cuti yang lama. Kalau kita dapat yang itulah, kita tak dapat cuti yang lama. Tapi in United Kingdom, employee are allowed up to 40 weeks, okay, 40 weeks of the maternity leave, and employer must provide a government's mandate amount of pay for 18 of those weeks. I think in Malaysia they didn't apply this, okay? In United Kingdom only. So if you want, go to United Kingdom and work there. Yeah. Alright. So one more example here. We can see that in Japan, compensation levels are determined by using the objective factor of age, length of service, and also educational background, rather than skill, ability, and performance. It means that they put aside how you perform, how you give your best to the company. They put aside because your salary is based on this factor: age, length of your services, and also your educational background. So if you are good in the educational background, you are old, then you can work in Japan. They will pay you higher. Yes. Okay. So next we will proceed. Okay, we have video. You can watch the video to get more understanding. Alright. So I will let you watch the video. So I will proceed with the approaches for formulating effective compensation strategies in different cluster. Okay, actually all those things that I cakap ni is the example of the differences. Okay, in terms of dia punya human resources punya management. Yeah. Okay, in this slide we can let's take a look at the second column, which is Japan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Philippines. High salary should be paid to the senior level manager. They think that in this kind of country, they pay high salary to the senior level manager. But it is different when you are at Italy and Belgium, because they will pay the high salary to the local senior level manager only. Okay, if you are not the local one, if you're not the local one, but you are the senior manager, your salary will not takkan tinggi sama dengan dia orang punya local senior level manager. Okay, then previous class kita ada belajar pasal individualism dengan collectivism. Okay, kat sini kita boleh cakap, kita boleh tengok, kita boleh apply. Portugal and Greece. Okay, Portugal and Greece, they prefer profit sharing plan. Okay, they think that profit sharing plan are more effective. Because what? Because they have the higher collectivism index. Okay, and low in the individualism index. Okay, But different in Denmark, Netherlands and also German, they have high individualism, which is they think that personal initiative will be more effective for them. Okay, so that's the example. Okay, we move on with the last example, which is the contingency metric for international human resource management. Okay, in this part we can see clearly basically benda ni dia macam more kepada dalam area human resource. Dia banyak kepada macam dia banyak sentuh pasal human resource kalau in terms of culture. Sebab apa? Culture ni on behaviour kita, betul tak? Behaviour kita, culture kita macam yang kita belajar previous class. So that bila tu dia akan close dengan human resource punya, orang kata punya area. So in this slide we can let's take a look with the recruitment and selection. In Japan, they prepare for long process, okay, and develop trusting relationship with the recruit. Okay, kat sini clear kita boleh lihat that in the company in Japan, dia nak people tu rasa selesa dengan company dia. That's why dia orang prepare the very good what we call the very good training. They prepare the very good training untuk orang yang baru masuk tu rasa inilah company yang aku akan kerja selama-lamanya. Macam tu. Okay, sebab itu kalau di Japan susah untuk kita ambil pekerja yang dah bekerja dalam certain company. Sebab dia orang sangat loyal. Sebab apa? Sebab inilah. Sebab dia orang dah build up trust. Daripada mula-mula dia masuk, dia dah build up trust. So loyalty tu dia dah ada. Dia sangat loyal kepada first company dia. Okay. In Germany pula, they obtain skill labor from government subsidiaries apprenticeship program. They didn't develop their own what we call program, but they obtain the skill labor. Okay. In Mexico pula, they recruit Mexican nationals at US college. Not in Mexican college, but in US college. So the selection will be made among the people who study at US college. Yes. And last, in China, the recent public policy shift encourage use of sophisticated selection procedure. Okay. So kita tengok pada second example untuk lebih jelas. Kita tengok untuk lebih jelas, which is dia punya apa? Dia punya in terms of training. Okay. Macam tadi saya cakap, dia nak build trust. Dia nak bagi kita rasa selesa dekat company tu. So that in terms of training pula, company dekat Japan ni dia akan invest more in training. Sebab apa? Sebab dia nak develop one technique, one program that they feel that program tu boleh memberikan impact yang besar kepada orang yang nak masuk company tu. So that they will invest more in the training. They will invest more in training. So, and it is compulsory for the people who want work with the Japanese company to go for the training. Okay? And for Germany pula, be aware of the government regulation on training and reorganize apprenticeship program. So, program yang dikeluarkan tadi, dia orang organize balik. Okay. So, sama juga dengan Mexico, use bilingual trainer. It means that dia pakai trainer yang orang kata multi bahasa. Yes, multi bahasa. Okay. And the last one is China. Observe existing training program and utilize team training. Dia macam dekat Japan, dia invest more on training. Dia create the best training. Tapi in China, dia observe existing training yang dah ada, and then dia fully utilize. Kalau bagus dia fully utilize, kalau tak dia adjust sikit-sikit. Macam itulah. So that is the different between Japan, Germany, Mexico and China. Actually, that is the differences that happen across the culture lah in different company.
And then we go to compensation. For Japan, the compensation they give to their workers is praise and for motivation. They do not give any money. They avoid using money as compensation. For Germany, not high labor costs for manufacturing. For Mexico, consider all aspects of labor costs. It means compensation is under the labor cost. For China, they use the slogan more work, more pay. So the more you work, the more you will get pay. Labor relations. Japan, treat union as partner. Allow time for negotiation. Meaning they will make time with their partners to negotiate to gain mutual understanding. For German, prepared for high wage and short work week. Expect high productivity from unionized workers. They expect high productivity and high wages from their workers. Meaning, the higher the production, the higher their wages and short work week. For Mexico, understand changing Mexican labor law and prepare for increased unionization of labor. China, tap large pool of labor cities and lax labor law may become more stringent. Job design. For the Japan, empower teams to make decisions, encourage co-worker input, include participation, meaning they make a careful planning in their job design. For German, utilize work councils to enhance worker participation. They have their own council, so the workers can to encourage their workers' participation. Mexico, approach participation cautiously. China, determine employees' motive before implementing participation. So they have to know what their employee think before they want the workers to participate. Next we go to GLOBE project. What is GLOBE? GLOBE is actually a form of global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness. It is a system to analyze cultural attributes and variables and evaluate nine attributes using middle manager such as supervisor. Phase of GLOBE project. First two phase, they evaluate 9 different attributes using middle managers such as supervisor. Third phase, examine the interaction of culture in leadership in upper level management positions such as the president of organization. GLOBE cultural dimension. Uncertainty avoidance. Member of organizations strive to avoid uncertainty by reliance on social norms, ritual, and so on. Example, doctor use masks, gloves, and special suits in order to get closer to patients with sickness such as COVID-19. Next, power distance. The hierarchy in organization. The extent of which member of an organization agree that the power should be unequally shared. The example is the hierarchy in organization, lower, middle, and upper level management. Next, societal collectivism. Organization and societal institutional practice encourage and reward collective distribution of resource and collective actions. means they focus more to society organization. Next, in group collectivism, they express pride, loyalty, and cohesiveness in their organization and family, meaning they put their family and organization more important. Gender egalitarianisms, the gender role differences. For example, in nursing, there are more females than males. Assertiveness, the aggressiveness of business person in engaging with a negotiation to gain a project from client. Future orientation, planning for a future purpose. For example, investment. Performance orientation, encourage and reward group member for performance improvement and excellence. Meaning they give you a reward such as bonus for your performance, or maybe connection or title, best workers maybe. Human orientation, reward individual for their kindness, friendly and generous. Globe country analysis, correspond with those of hosted and entrepreneurs. Provide a current comprehensive overview that can be analyzed for greater outcome. That's all from me. Thank you.
So now I will explain on the last subtopic, which is using the GLOBE project to compare managerial differences. So you guys can refer this in your textbook in page 169. So GLOBE project, it provides an extensive breakdown of two things, which is first how managers behave, and second is how different culture can influence the perspective of the manager. So okay, if you look at the next slide, okay, this is the figure that being used in GLOBE project. So I'm sure you guys are already familiar with all the 9 terms used over there, as it is just like what Danish had presented and what the group 2 had discussed in the previous class. So is the global analysis used in comparing values in China, US, and Argentina. Okay, now we'll go through it one by one. So it say that the web structure can be used to show both similarities and differences between multiple cultures all at once, and it also helpful to indicate potential areas of misunderstanding when conducting a business. So first, on uncertainty avoidance, which is also when a country strives to avoid uncertainty towards future events. So in the figure, Chinese manager scores 5 in area of uncertainty avoidance, which is higher than Argentina and the United States. So it indicates that Chinese people are much more prefer to do careful planning in doing their work, while the other 2 countries are more open for unplanned situations. And the next is power distance, which is members of an organization expect and agree that power should be unequally shared. So in the figure, all the 3 countries prefer working structures with less hierarchy and more of equality. Okay, this indicates clearly because all the country scores low in power distance, just like in the figure. Okay, just as an example of a country with high power distance is South Korea, as they take seriously on the hierarchy. And the next is assertiveness, which is the degree to which individuals of an organization are assertive or aggressive in social relationship. Okay, in the figure, can you say that Chinese manager value assertiveness more than the other 2 countries? in terms of aggressive and confrontational behavior in a business negotiation. Okay, for example, a Chinese business person may walk away from an intense negotiation feeling as though things were already went well, while for an Argentina counterpart, which is across the table, might view the same meeting as unproductive and detrimental or a loss. Okay. Next is performance orientation, which is when an organization or society encourage or rewards their group members for a good performance. So from the figure, all the three countries score higher in performance orientation, which indicates that the manager from all these three countries are much more preferred to encourage their workers by giving reward for their improvement or high performance result or good performance result. Okay, next is human orientation. Chinese, Argentina, and US managers score high in human orientation, which shows that individuals in these and their organization or societies will be encouraged and reward individuals for being fair or friendly and generous, or also someone that are kind to the others. Okay, next is future orientation. So through the figure, Chinese score lower than the other two countries, so it indicates that between all the managers, Chinese people will show lack of planning and investing for future purpose. But I think maybe it is changing right now. So next is gender egalitarianism, or you can say as gender equality. Okay, through the figure, Chinese measures score lower in this part, which is nearly 4. So it shows that Chinese do not prioritize in minimizing the gender role difference, while the other two countries, Argentina and United States, are working on minimizing the gender discrimination. Okay, next is in-group collectivism, which is the degree to which individuals express pride or loyalty in their organization. So, looking at the figure, okay, Chinese managers scores lower in this area compared to Argentina and United States manager. Okay, what we can see is that it shows that Chinese business person lack cohesiveness in their organization, while Argentina scores high, so they show that this country have better in cohesiveness. Okay, and the last one is institutional collectivism. Okay, it is referred as the degree to which organizational and societal institutions encourage individuals to be integrated into groups or organizations. So, looking at the figure, okay, Chinese people score higher than US measure, while lower than Argentina in area of this area. Also, it indicates that in terms of practicing in rewarding collective distribution between Chinese measure and US measure, Chinese score higher, while between Argentina, Chinese measures score lower. Okay, so that is all on the presentation of chapter 3, managing across cultures.